Okay, I don't know if you're familiar with my pain walks, but I do these when I'm getting a bit of a onset of chronic pain. Haven't had to do one this year at all. And obviously, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I've had chronic pain for a few years. And then Christmas Eve, had a bit of a funny moment, and hadn't had any since. I'd had little suggestions of pain, but I'd managed to kind of do various things and it would go. So I've been heading towards 3 months pain-free, and then yesterday, pain. But the reason I am doing this is to document how what I'm experimenting with doing in order to be able to handle this. Because what I can't do is spiral and start panicking and start thinking about all the things that will impact if I'm back to having pain again, because that's fear-based thinking going to the extreme. And hang on, just got to think about the next thing I was going to say. Oh yeah, and that was that I'm distracted now because I'm looking up at my studio. Thought the light was on, but it's not. So basically, can't go and get all anxious now about pain. And I also can't go and feel frustrated with the fact that I've been 3 months no pain and then pain. So the reason I picked up my phone and thought I'll record this now is for two reasons. One, to document for you guys how I deal with it, but two, because I need the distraction. And that is one of the things that I do. Because just now when I dropped the kids to school, I was literally thinking, who can I call who lives nearby that I can ask if I can go and lie down in their house on the floor, because I don't think I'll be going to be able to do the hill. Well, I'm at the beginning of the hill. Because I'm not going to do that, because I know that my mind can bring the pain down. And I know from experience now that it's just fear-based thinking that seems to trigger the pain. So if I can sort my thoughts out, I can also distract myself from the pain, I've got a good chance of getting up this hill, getting home and being able to carry on with my day. So, already, like has happened before with the pain walks that I've done, the pain it's decreasing. I think it's got worse because I'm going up the hill now, but already just the distraction technique of doing something. So I tried first of all to listen to a podcast to take my mind off it, but my mind wasn't having any of that. My mind was going off, but you're never going to do the hill. So then I thought, this works. And it also, I started off doing a podcast, just an audio one, because I didn't know if I'd be able to handle keeping my arm up in the air with the back and the hill and all that kind of thing. But the act of trying to remember to look at the dot so that I am making eye contact and remembering about my arm and then trying to think of what I'm thinking that I want to say, all those things become the forefront of my attention, and it really does. It's just this amazing little hack that just calms the pain down because I'm not thinking about it, and therefore the megaphone of the mind and the brain isn't going off going, seriously, she's in pain, send out more pain because she needs to slow down and recover. And that's how I've been sort of had it explained to me about the neuroscience side of things, that you just get into this crazy cycle where your mind or your brain has got slightly out of control. I hope you can hear me, I'm going over a busy road. And it's got into a cycle that's really hard to break. And it's only by doing this kind of stuff that you begin to break it. And look, I have done most of the hill now, and the pain's gone. Yes! Oh God, it's so good to know that I can do this. And I was thinking I wasn't going to record anything. Oh, there was a twang, but we're just going to remember to do what I talked about in my last episode. Oh, twangs are normal. Everybody gets the odd twang. I've just moved house, I've just emptied a load of boxes. It's fine, it's completely normal. But yeah, after dropping the kids to school, I sat down on a bench thinking that might help. and it almost made it worse. And then the panic started to bubble up of, like, I refuse to get a taxi because this can't be that much of an issue. I have to be able to deal with this myself. I don't want to do that. I don't want that to be my reality. And also I don't want to phone a friend and see if I can lie down in their house. I don't want that to be my reality either. So yes, as I sat there and the fear-based thinking was trying to take over, I thought this is an opportunity to share what I do when I'm hit with a moment that low. So I can't remember what my point is. I'm just glad that I'm doing this because this might help some of you guys that deal with chronic pain, or you can send it to somebody that you know who does. And I don't know if it'll work for everybody, but it's worth sharing these things because we're now completely on the flat now. Hill is ticked off and the chronic pain has completely subsided to like a 2 out of 10 from a kind of an 8 or 9. And it's also, when you do this, you give yourself a new frame of reference that says, oh, I've had that before and I was fine. I got over it. I did the thing. I just need to do a story or, an audio or whatever. Just have to or talk to somebody or listen to something. And it gives you that benchmark now of, even if I have an 8 out of 10 pain out of nowhere on the school run, I can get through it. So I don't need to, and then next time my brain goes, I don't need to panic about this because I've dealt with this before and it was fine. And that's how you break the cycle, because your brain then doesn't find this as scary and doesn't pump out as much pain to make you slow down, because it doesn't see that you're in as much danger, because you're able to go, no, I've got this, I've done this before and it wasn't an issue. So I'm glad that I've recorded this, because I was almost feeling like, oh man, it's typical, isn't it? I've just done an episode about how I've been pain-free, and then the next episode is going to be a pain walk. But this is where you've got to not let your mind think that that's an issue, because it's not an issue. You know, I'm recovering from chronic pain. Like I said on something the other day, at the moment, this is my present set of circumstances. I hope it will stay, and if it doesn't, I have learned I have to accept that and just allow the as is to be. Oh, goodness me, nearly home. Thank you for being there with me. I was going to say something else about the whole pain thing, but my mind wants to forget. And I can't pause on here, and I don't want to thread another video on the end, because who has time for that? Especially when they've got a house to unpack. Sorry, bear with me. Let me just see if I can remember it. Otherwise I will edit this down if I'm taking too long. Oh, I've now got a message on my phone popping up. Oh. I think it was about the fact that it's really important for me to acknowledge now that it's not a big deal that I'm in pain, because my mind is obviously going to want to have a field day. I think I've already sort of touched on this when I first started this video, but my mind wants to, I can tell it wants to have a field day of like, seriously, I thought I was over this. I've been looking forward to this walk. I've been looking forward to doing the hill. I don't want this. And so it's so critical. I think that's it. I just wanted to impart like the key steps here that I'm doing in case it's helpful. It's critical to, first of all, have no resistance to the as is. Okay, if after 3 months of no pain, we're in pain. That's okay. I can allow it. Don't need to try and control everything. Also, what's the lesson? Oh, well, there's quite a big lesson, which is I've just started doing the hill, and I can have an 8 out of 10 pain day out of nowhere and be able to deal with it absolutely fine. Okay, that might be one of the lessons. Second thing is distract. Just distract yourself. And of course the fourth thing, which I haven't even had time to get to because the pain wore down so quickly, is to have gratitude. I've got gratitude. I can see my little cat in the window, and that makes me happy. Hey Pank, I'm over here. Oh, cold, completely ignoring me. There are 3 birds to look at though, so to be fair. All right then, don't know if that helped anyone, but